Hey crafty friends, Jen here. I am back designing for 12 by 12 cardstock shop, and today we are going to be making some paper flowers. We are doing these adorable hanging wisteria flowers that will be perfect for the flower wall that I'm creating. I really wanted to have a hanging element to it, and these will be mixed in with some larger flowers. I've done them with a couple different color variations in the pinks and the purples. Lots of fun. I have included a link to the Cricut design space file that I used to create these gorgeous flowers. For flower making, I truly prefer to use the Encore textured cardstock. It's 80 pound, so it stays flexible to really create the shapes that you need, but it's still durable enough to really put it to the test. For each flower, I created a color palette of 4 different colors. You will need a light, a medium, and a dark shade. The 4th color I used as kind of a binding color that is throughout the entire flower. For the purple wisteria that I showed you, I chose Aster as my darkest color, Larkspur as my medium, Morning Glory as the lightest, and then I tied the whole thing together with the spring crocus. For the flower that we'll be making today, I have Pink Azalea as my darkest color, Hot Pink as the medium, Party Pink as the light, and then I tied the entire thing together with Dragon Fruit. Did it slightly different from the original pink flower that I used Hot Pink as the darkest, Party Pink as my medium, Princess Pink for my light, and then I tied the entire thing together with the Malibu. Once you have all of the flowers cut from your design space file, I have separated them into different sizes. I designed this flower so that there will be some overlap in between the different sizes with the different colors. In addition to the cut file, you will also need a bone folder. This is what I use to create the petal shape within the flower. You're also going to want to have your hot glue gun at the ready. As you can see, I have shaped a lot of the petals, but we will be going over that shortly. I also have my pokey tool out. I use this to create a hole in the center. I use a large sponge to use my pokey tool on. This is also great for shaping flower petals. You'd be surprised at what a large sponge can do in your craft room. You could also have your Cricut cut the hole in the center of the flowers as well. However, I did manipulate the size of the file, therefore I didn't want the larger holes because you're going to be placing them through wire. I used about a 24 gauge wire. You could use anywhere from a 20 to a 26 gauge wire for this, and you will need about 40 inches of wire to do a 12-inch wisteria. Next, you will need a pair of needle nose pliers. This is what I use to shape and cut the wire. First, I'm going to grab a stack of the flowers and use my pokey tool to punch a hole through the center. You can do several flowers at once with this. You want the hole that you create to be as thin as possible, so if you have a thicker tool, you won't want to go all the way through. Once you have the holes in the center of the flowers, you can start curving the petals. I'm using my bone folder to curl my petals downward. The textured side is on top. Once again, I'm grabbing several flowers at once. You do not have to do these individually. Next, you can see that I have separated the smallest petals into different colors. So we are going to start with the smallest first and then work our way up to the largest flowers. This is the sequence of colors that I used to create the base of my flower. You want to start with the darkest flowers first and making sure to weave the lighter colors into the dark. You will get lighter colors as the petals grow bigger. Use the needle nose pliers to create a circular base. This will be the base of the first petal of your flower. Thread the first flower onto the wire and bring it all the way down to the circular base that you just created. Use a little hot glue to secure the ends of the petals into one another to create a round circular shape. Thread your next flower onto the wire and bring it all the way down to that circular shape at the end. You can use your hot glue to attach the two together as well as to the wire. Want to make sure the petals are variegated between each layer. Use your pliers to create another circular base for the next layer of flowers. This will help provide a sort of platform for the flower to sit on. As the petals are smaller, you want less height in between each of the layers. As the petals get bigger, I'm going to increase the space between each of the layers. Thread your next flower on and use a dab of hot glue on the wire to secure the flower to the wire. Once again, making sure to stagger those petals. Once again, use your pliers to create a circular base by wrapping it around the end. Thread your next flower on and use the hot glue to secure right at the wire. When you bring the petal down, make sure to stagger those petals and pinch at the base so that it's secured tightly to the wire. Repeat bending the wire at the base, getting pretty close to the last flower that you put on to create the base for your next flower. Keep repeating the process of threading and hot gluing, then using your pliers to create a platform for the flower that you put on next. So I finished up all of the small petals. Just look at the color variation on this. Very, very cool. I've already added a platform for my next flower, which I have scooted just a little bit to give it just a tiny bit more space. Like I said, as the flowers increase in size, so do the spacing of the petals. Now I'm going to take the time to decide on what colors I'm going to do and in which order. Starting with the second smallest flower, I've put them in the order that I like. Once again, we're going from dark to medium to light and then weaving in that highlight color throughout each of the layers. So I'm focusing on some of the darker colors first and then staggering some of the lighter colors that we're using in between each of those layers. I've kept the flowers in sequential order according to size because once again, not only are we going from dark to light, but we're going small to large. I found stacking the petals in sequential order was the easiest way to complete the flower in the shortest possible amount of time. Once you've created the color sequence, it's just a matter of threading the petal and using the wire to create the platform. Once again, I've threaded the flower and I'm adding just a tad of hot glue to the wire platform and making sure to stagger those petals. The flower has gotten much bigger at this point as we've increased the flower size. Just remember that as you layer each of the flowers, you are going to want to increase the spacing in between each of the petals as the flowers get bigger. I also found it fun to experiment on increasing the density of the flower by making those spaces a little smaller, as well as doing more or less flowers to the finished piece. Each had its own differences that made the flowers so pretty. One of the other thoughts that I had when I was creating this flower is using different color palettes. I thought yellows would be gorgeous when you saw all of the different variations of it, as well as a blue. I thought the blue would have a really, really nice effect, and you could use that beautiful new bluebell that is available at the shop, as well as Honolulu blue, which are two of my favorite blues from the Textured Encore line. I'd love to see the fun color palettes you come up with, so make sure to tag both me, Jenn Cassell, and 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop on your socials. Look at how cool this flower looks when you get so many of the flowers onto the wire. Very cool. You could even adjust the size and do brown for pine cones during the fall and winter. As we're finishing up the last couple flowers, I did want to note about the leaves. One of the times I did the leaves with the flowers on top. Another, I did the leaves throughout the flower itself. So you would essentially just take those viney leaves and you could hot glue them to the tops of the flowers within the wisteria. For this one, I am going to show you how I did the leaves on the top versus throughout the flower. Rather than using my bone folder, I am just going to use my hands to create the curvature of the vines. These can be a little delicate, so I wouldn't use your bone folder for this part. Just follow the natural curvature of the vine to create a really fun curve that really brings these flowers to life. For the larger leaves, I did use my bone folder, stacking all the leaves together and just curving that leaf down to create a bit more movement within the leaf itself. Making sure the leaves are stacked together, bring over your sponge and pokey tool and just poke a hole through the bottom. Next, you'll see me using some hot glue to glue the vines to the top of the wisteria. I'm kind of aiming for that little V in between the petals. That way I know that they're spaced evenly. The curve we created in the vines allows them to slide gently down the flower versus sticking straight out. And you can kind of manipulate those leaves a little further once you have them glued on. Next, you're going to want to take the larger of the leaves, and I'm just going to thread those like I did the flowers, securing the tips with some hot glue. Repeat with each of the leaves, making sure to stagger the leaves in between the vines. This seemed to help with any spacing issues that you might have. And once again, once you've already glued them on, you can use your hands to create even more of a curvature. To create the hook for the top, all I did was wrap the wire into a circle and then wrapped the end around the base of my circle, and this creates the hanging element for the top. There's different ways that you could do this, but mine is actually going to be covered in the floral cluster that I'm using for the wall hanging, so I didn't really care about making this too finished. So thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Make sure to head on over to 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop and check out the amazing selection of papers they have. If you're a paper crafter and paper flower maker like me, you can't go wrong with the Encore Textured. It's my absolute favorite paper line. This was such a fun flower to make with such unique color combinations. Possibilities are truly endless. Yellows, pinks, purples, blues. This would look good with anything. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more crafty content. I'll see you in the next crafty video. Bye!